You got to see the video of LeBron James being locked down by UPS delivery man. Now, I thought that it was a joke, right? Like the whole plumbers and firefighters and all of this stuff, right? I thought it was a joke when he said that, not knowing that it was an actual thing. This actually happened.
A video that's making the rounds again has suddenly taken over the internet, and people can't stop talking about what happened on the court. The clip shows a current NBA superstar getting completely shut down defensively, and that's what has everyone reacting. The wild part is who did the defending. It wasn't an all-star, an established NBA name, or even someone known around the league. Just months before that moment, he was making a living delivering packages. Now the clip is back in the spotlight, and the debate has exploded all over again. Head down to the comments and let everyone know where you stand. Does getting locked up by someone who was recently working as a package delivery driver actually hurt a superstar's legacy, or is this simply another hilarious viral basketball moment?
We've got a situation today that's equal parts hilarious and embarrassing, and it's becoming harder and harder for anyone watching, honestly, to explain away. Around here, we cover everything from today's biggest basketball stories to the timeless debates that never seem to disappear, always looking at the game from our own perspective. In our last video, we talked about the viral Fanatics Fest moment, where Dennis Rodman dropped a statement that instantly had the basketball world buzzing. Standing in front of the crowd, Rodman didn't hesitate to say that if he had to guard this particular player in today's NBA, it would be the easiest defensive assignment of his entire career. He went on to explain that the formula would be simple: force him to his left, live with the outside jump shot, and according to Rodman, the rest of his offensive game falls apart because the overall skill package isn't there. At first, a lot of fans brushed those comments aside as nothing more than classic, old-school trash talk meant to generate headlines. One of our longtime viewers jumped into the chat and pointed everyone toward an old piece of archived footage. Once that clip resurfaced, the conversation took on a completely different direction.
Let me read the description. It says, one of the funniest NBA storylines ever came when Jonathan Simmons, who worked as a UPS delivery driver before earning a 10-day opportunity in the NBA, ended up guarding LeBron James. Simmons' relentless defense and incredible journey from delivering packages to defending one of the greatest players ever quickly made him a fan favorite. After paying $150 to attend a Spurs Open tryout, he earned a roster spot and eventually carved out a solid NBA career. The clip has become a classic because it perfectly captures how unpredictable basketball can be. One day you're delivering packages, the next you're matched up against LeBron James on an NBA court.
Long before Jonathan Simmons became an NBA name, he was delivering UPS packages, sorting boxes, and working every day just to make ends meet. He even spent $150 of his own money for a chance to attend an open tryout with the San Antonio Spurs G League affiliate because nobody was handing him an opportunity. That gamble paid off as he fought his way from the bottom, earned a temporary contract through nothing but effort, and eventually landed on an NBA floor. Before long, he was matched up against the self-proclaimed king on a regulation NBA court. Now, an old video from that moment has resurfaced, and people can't stop watching it. The clip is unbelievable for one simple reason. Simmons didn't just survive the matchup or make things slightly difficult. He completely shut him down, forced him into an awkward stumble, and left him struggling to keep his balance. That's exactly why the footage has become such a viral talking point all over again.
So you saw the video. Let me read the description. It says, one of the funniest NBA storylines ever came when Jonathan Simmons, who worked as a UPS delivery driver before earning a 10-day opportunity in the NBA, ended up guarding LeBron James. Simmons' relentless defense and incredible journey from delivering packages to defending one of the greatest players ever quickly made him a fan favorite. After paying $150 to attend a Spurs Open tryout, he earned a roster spot and eventually carved out a solid NBA career. The clip has become a classic because it perfectly captures how unpredictable basketball can be. One day you're delivering packages, the next you're matched up against LeBron James on an NBA court.
LeBron fans are probably going to have a tough time answering for this one because the clip is hard to ignore. Watching it unfold, a lot of people are calling it one of the clearest examples of a player getting completely shut down on national television. For years, plenty of media voices have downplayed older NBA legends by saying they competed against plumbers, electricians, and part-time workers during the league's early days. JJ Redick has repeatedly appeared on podcasts arguing that previous generations didn't face the same level of competition because so many players had regular jobs. So that brings up the obvious question. How do you explain the face of today's NBA getting locked up by someone who had recently been working as a UPS delivery driver? The possession only made things look worse. He tried attacking off the dribble, backed out to create space with a crossover, and then lost his footing before ending up flat on his back. That's not exactly the kind of sequence people expect from someone who constantly finds himself in the greatest of all time conversation.
We saw this when Kobe, who was basically out of his prime, a 34-year-old Kobe Bryant, locked down on LeBron James in an all-star game. Locked him down, locked him up. Threw away the key. So, LeBron fans, let me ask you all a question. You expect us, who are not LeBron fans, to look at this video and still agree with y'all that this is the greatest player of all time? Are y'all dead ass serious telling me that this guy is better than Kobe Bryant? Are y'all being dead ass serious that this dude is better than Kobe Bryant? This is embarrassing. And this is what Dennis Rodman was talking about.
This wasn't some one-time moment where an ordinary worker happened to get the better of him either. People still remember the All-Star game when a 34-year-old Kobe Bryant, already well past his athletic peak and carrying years of wear on his body, decided to pick him up the full length of the floor. Kobe applied relentless pressure, stripped the ball clean, completely shut him down, and did it in front of millions watching live. So it's fair to ask why fans who have seen those clips are expected to accept the media narrative that he's the undisputed king of basketball. Are people really supposed to believe he's above players like Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan when moments like these are sitting on video for everyone to watch? That argument becomes much harder to sell when another viral clip shows a former UPS package handler giving him serious problems on an NBA court. The footage also lines up with the point Dennis Rodman made at Fanatics Fest. Rodman never argued that he couldn't score in NBA games. He acknowledged that the player knows how to attack open lanes, use his physical strength, build impressive career numbers over more than 2 decades, and pile up all-time scoring totals while showing incredible durability. His point was different. According to Rodman, once that player is isolated against a disciplined physical defender who doesn't react to ball fakes or stepbacks, the limitations in his offensive skill set become much easier to see. Rodman's view was that in a playoff series, he'd simply give him 5 feet of space and challenge him to beat him from the perimeter. He pointed to the fact that the player has consistently struggled on jump shots outside of 10 feet when defenders don't respect the shot, producing percentages below league average. Rodman also believed backing him down wouldn't work. He'd built his defensive reputation by holding his ground against a prime Shaquille O'Neal, so he didn't see a finesse-oriented driver moving him in the post. That's the distinction traditional basketball fans make when they argue a player doesn't have a deep offensive bag. They're talking about refined footwork, a wide variety of post moves, and isolation counters disappearing once the athletic advantage is taken away by a relentless defender. Clips like these only reinforce that opinion for people who already reject the corporate media narrative. The situation would probably be viewed differently if it had happened during a charity event, an off-season exhibition, or a random pickup run where an unknown player surprised an NBA star. Instead, this happened during an official NBA game against someone who had been sorting boxes and delivering UPS packages only months before. The contrast becomes even bigger when people compare details they associate with basketball greatness.
The criticism points to a player who has routinely missed free throws with his eyes open, including air balls in important moments. At the same time, people bring up stories of Michael Jordan making free throws with his eyes closed to embarrass opponents and send a message to rookies. From that perspective, supporters of this argument believe the constant media defense of every embarrassing moment has made the public criticism feel justified. Fans have grown tired of watching mainstream coverage celebrate routine plays like their historic moments, when the game film often tells a very different story. From that perspective, the tape shows frustration and awkward possessions instead of the greatness that's constantly being promoted. At the same time, Jonathan Simmons deserves credit for the path he took to reach the NBA. Going from paying $150 to attend a local tryout to becoming a respected, hard-working fan favorite is an incredible story by any standard. But critics argue that from a superstar standpoint, being locked up by someone who had recently worked as a delivery driver is the kind of clip that never disappears.
They believe that sequence reinforces every criticism that's been made over the years, and no amount of positive media coverage can erase what people can clearly watch for themselves. That leads into a larger criticism about how certain stars are covered. When an average player struggles or gets exposed defensively, sports networks often replay those mistakes over and over while breaking down every possession. Critics argue that when the league's biggest names get shut down by a G League grinder who came from a blue-collar delivery job, those moments receive far less attention before the conversation quickly shifts somewhere else. They see that as a clear double standard, and one of the biggest reasons many basketball fans have moved away from traditional sports television in favor of independent voices. Their argument is simple. They want analysis based on the game itself, rather than coverage they believe is designed to protect a brand. Then there's the mental side of that possession. Imagine being promoted for years by television networks and major shoe companies as an untouchable superstar, only to run into a defender whose life recently revolved around scanning packages and making deliveries. The clip appears to show the frustration building in real time. He tries to reset the possession, looks for a screen that never arrives, attempts to force a move anyway, and ends up slipping to the floor. For critics, that's the moment the image of invincibility disappears. To them, it serves as another reminder that basketball is still decided by effort, defensive discipline, and relentless hustle, regardless of the surrounding hype. Supporters will always argue there were circumstances behind the play. Some will say he was pacing himself, that it was early in the season, or that he wasn't fully engaged because the playoffs were the real priority. Critics counter by pointing to the way Jonathan Simmons approached every possession. He played with the urgency of someone fighting to keep his NBA career alive, because that's exactly what he was doing. They view that as the difference between a player battling for every opportunity and a superstar who expects the game to come easier. Their belief is that when someone accustomed to favorable whistles and softer defensive attention finally runs into a relentless defender, the result can be a very different kind of possession. The discussion also reflects what many people see as the growing gap between social media highlights and the reality of full basketball games. Fans are constantly shown polished clips filled with open dunks, uncontested layups, and deep three-pointers against passive defenses. According to those critics, that has led many people to mistake regular season highlight reels and statistical production for complete basketball dominance. Once you get past the polished highlight reels and social media edits, archived game footage can paint a much different picture. In those unscripted moments of real competition, critics believe you start seeing weaknesses that don't always show up in carefully selected clips. Their argument is that a disciplined defender can disrupt a player who depends heavily on physical advantages once those advantages are challenged. That's why sequences like this continue to get attention years later. They serve as a reminder that no contract, endorsement deal, or media campaign changes what actually happens between the lines. The court has a way of revealing everything in real time. You can't hide a defensive stop, and you can't erase a turnover that happens in front of a live audience. To critics, Jonathan Simmons uncovered the same formula elite defenders have always understood. Make him uncomfortable, force him to earn every dribble, and let frustration build possession after possession. Whether people agree with that conclusion or not, it's a clip that keeps resurfacing because it sparks the same debate every time. It also reinforces the idea that when genuine defensive intensity shows up, anything can happen on a basketball court. Drop your thoughts in the comments if this video changes the way you look at the greatest of all time discussion. Be sure to like the video and subscribe.